Hey guys, I'm Madison Mary and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a manga recommendation video for you guys. So today's manga recommendation video is going to be focusing on romance mangas. Romance mangas are some of my favorite to read. I tend to read more romance mangas and watch more like action-packed anime, but I wanted to give you guys 8 manga recommendations that have quite a heavy romance focus or that are just really cute and have like a slight romance focus in them. So one of the most recent ones I come across is Kamomo Confessional by Maki Minami. This one is super cute. It has a really adorable drawing style and I adore the plotline of it. So we follow Kamomo, and growing up she was part of a very, prestigious family, and she was a very spoiled little girl, and she used to pick on the son of the family pastry chef, Natsu. However, 10 years later, Kamomo's family has lost their fortune and she's not living very well. And then she actually ends up coming into contact with Natsu again, and he's actually head of his own pastry shop. He ends up giving her a place to live in exchange for working in his shop. And what comes from that is him kind of wanting some sort of a revenge, but actually a romance blossoming between the two of them. It is so cute and very adorable. When I read this, I was completely enamored and I highly, highly recommend it. The next manga I have is Living Room Matsunagasan by Kiko Iwashita. I actually read this series a couple years ago, back when it was like scanlations, and I'm really excited that there's a couple of volumes, I think there's 4 out now in the US, that have been English translated and published. It has one of the newer mangaka styles, which is very clean lines and kind of an overall sophisticated look to it. So this one's really fun, especially if you're someone who loves the idea of like a bunch of strangers living in an area together and like romance blossoming between them. So we follow Miko, and she's a high schooler who ends up moving into her uncle's boarding house because her parents have moved away to look after her ailing grandmother. When she moves in there, she meets all the residents, who are a ragtag group of people. She's the youngest of them all, and so she ends up kind of developing this crush on Matsunagasan and begins to fall for him. It's full of such hilarities and it's really cute, and it kind of shows this whole coming of age story. It is very slice of life in a sense because of that, and because of all the different characters that we are following, because they are all of different ages. And I just had a real blast reading this, and I think that it's a very cute love story that ends up coming out of it. The next one I have to recommend to you guys is from one of my favorite mangakas, and that is Something's Wrong With Us by Natsume Ando. Natsume Ando is seriously one of my favorite mangakas. She's written so many amazing series such as Kitchen Princess, Zodiac PI, and Arisa. So it does have Natsume Ando's signature drawing style, which is quite easily one of my favorites. So we follow now, and when she was a child, her mum was accused of murder by her childhood best friend Tsubaki, and she was accused of murdering Tsubaki's dad. And so many years later, now has continued making Japanese sweets just like her mum used to, and she's quite known in the community. However, after a series of events, she ends up actually coming back into contact with Tsubaki again, and he ends up proposing to her in marriage in order to have her help him bring back the family name of this place. However, he actually doesn't know that now is the young girl from his past. And I don't know, when I read this, it was not at all what I was expecting. It definitely has a lot more of the feel of her series Arisa, where there is kind of a mystery in it, because now I was trying to actually figure out who did kill Tsubaki's father, because she wants to be able to clear her mother's name, but at the same time, she also still wants to be a Japanese sweet maker, and so she still needs to, have this prestigious position in being Tsubaki's fiance. And so it's kind of like an enemy marriage in a sense, and it's just, there's so much potential here, and Natsume Ando always pulls like some great punches that you do not see coming, so I feel like this is going to be a really great series. Now, one of my new favorites that I've come across, it's not published until I think next month, but I have previously read it as a webcomic before it was then purchased to be a manga, and that is Fiancé the Wizard by Misaki Kazuka. We follow Philomena, and one day she awakens with memories of her past life and realizes that she has been reborn in this world as a second chance. And this new world that she finds herself in has magic and sorcery, and it's really amazing, and she absolutely loves it. However, her path ends up crossing with a very powerful young wizard, and the two of them end up becoming betrothed. So I absolutely love this story because he's such a powerful wizard. He has black hair, and black hair is very feared in this place, but because Philomena has memories of her past life where she used to live in Japan, where a lot of people have black hair, she's not afraid of him, and so they end up forming this really pretty relationship because she's one of the first people to not actually be afraid of him, and they form such a cute bond. And I absolutely love it because it has this very nice art style to it in a way that is very regal in a sense. Then we have a manga from quite a well-known mangaka, and that is Love Me, Love Me Not by Io Sakisaka. This mangaka also wrote Our Hair Ride and Strobe Edge, both of which are very much favorites of mine, but are a bit more mainstream in a sense that more people do know about them. So we follow Yuna and Akari, and they are best friends, but they are complete opposites. Yuna is an idealist. She kind of has this whole idea of like a fairy tale romance, whereas Akari is a bit more of a realist, and she kind of has a bit more doubt in society. And so when these two boys end up joining their ranks, romance starts to blossom between the four of them, and it's a very sweet love story about these two best friends who are embarking on romance for the first time. And it is set in school, so it's kind of like a school romance, which is a trope that I really love in mangas. I love reading school romances because there's always something really fun about them, even though I am a lot older now and I do love some of the older mangas that have been coming out where the characters are out of high school or middle school, such as, you know, Something's Wrong With Us, which the characters are like 21. I still like to see these really cute romances of teenagers because there's something just so precious about them, and there are a lot of life lessons in these as well, especially from this mangaka. She's very well known for tackling a lot of different topics in her mangas and kind of portraying them in a way that is very palatable to young readers. Next we have a manga that has a anime adaptation that I literally love so much, and that is Inox Boku Secret Service. This is by Kokoa Fujiwara, and she actually passed away a couple of years ago, but this is a completed series, and it's really sad to know that she's not going to be coming out with any more mangas, but I think it's a beautiful way to remember her by including her on this list. So we follow Riri, and she is from a very elite family. She is gorgeous, but she has a bit of a vicious tongue and she lashes out a lot of people. And she also has a secret magical ability that you have to wait to find out about. And because of this, she ends up getting put up into this specific hotel that is for people who need to be guarded. And they are guarded by their own secret service. She ends up getting the secret service agent of Soshi. She really does not want him to be her agent. She thinks that she's very capable of her own, but she soon realizes that there are a lot of dangers living in this wealthy apartment complex and that a lot of people are out to kill other people. And she soon comes to realize that there is more to her secret service agent than meets the eye. It is a really fun one, especially if you love yokais and gumihos and anything like that. If that's something that you're a fan of, you will definitely love this one because it has a lot of those different aspects to it. Plus, it's a very sweet, slow burn romance that kind of comes between them, especially because it kind of reminds you a little bit of Toradora in the fact that Riri kind of has that same personality where she's very outspoken and brutal and rough, but also very vulnerable and sweet at the same time. So I really do enjoy it, and it's a really beautiful art style, and I just think it's a great way to remember her. Next we have it's not like a one-shot, but it is a one-shot, but it's a very, very long full-length manga. It's like this big, I want to say, and that is Stupid Love Comedy. So we follow Suzu Sakura, and she is specifically a shoujo mangaka, and she is very shocked when her editor announces that he is leaving the company. The new editor taking his place is this extremely hot guy, but he actually looks down on shoujo manga. And so it's this very cute workplace romance that takes place between the two of them because he's constantly pushing her and asking her and like putting a lot on her and looking down at her, but also encouraging her at the same time, while she is just completely hilarious in her own, and she has so much fun, and she's like, oh, I had so much fun with this. If you want just like a singular manga and you don't have to commit to like 17 volumes, this is a great one to look into because it kind of gives you the fulfillment of reading, like, I think it's like the size of maybe like 5 mangas in general when you like buy it. But it's such a beautiful story, and I had so much fun with it, and I think it'd be really cool if it was adapted one day into an anime because I could totally see that. And like I said before, the ending is just so perfect. You guys, you have no idea. And then last but not least, I have Syrup, which is an anthology that just came out in August. So what this means is that it is a bunch of one-shots written by many mangakas, and it is actually a Yuri anthology. If you don't know what Yuri is, that means it is female-female romances. The opposite to this is Yaoi, and that is male-male romances. And so I actually had so much fun reading this because I've never read an anthology by different mangakas before. Normally when I've read one-shots, it's a collection from a single mangaka, so it was really fun to see how all these different mangakas had their different takes on these Yuri stories, and they were just very sweet, especially if you're looking for something that has a little bit more of LGBTQ plus representation in the manga community. If you guys are interested in these, in the description box down below, I have the links to each of them on Right Stuff, which is one of my favorite places to buy manga because they have them for really good prices. They have deals every week, so definitely do always keep an eye out for them. I love placing orders there, so yes, let me know down below what your favorite romance mangas are. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please hit the like button down below. If you want to see more of me, please go to my channel. And until next time, thanks a bunch, guys. Bye!